welcome to Pointed Logic Tarot. This is going to be a VR to Sapling Tarot on having a deck collection. I'm also going to take this opportunity to share a much belated collection update while I answer these prompts, because I looked and the last time I showed any kind of a collection was back in fall of 2024. So, this is going to be a year and a half of decks. So it's quite a hefty stack next to me. There's one deck not in here because I've lent it to a friend, but I do have a flip through of it. That's the Embodied Ecosystems Tarot Oracle deck that came in from Kickstarter at the end of last year. Yeah. So that one I love. It's been really fun, but I lent it to a friend who was interested in giving it a whirl. So I'm going to do my best to flip through these in the order that I got them. We're going to rewind back to the very end of 2024 and then the beginning of 2025, in which I spent the winter slowly acquiring, well, I guess not slowly if it was over the course of like 3 months, the Seasons of the Witch Oracle deck series, because I was hunting for them used, and I got most of them used. I did end up having to buy new, the Imbolc one and Ostara. So we're going to look at those first. And we're going to answer the first question, which is, how long have you been collecting decks? So give me a sec while I grab those. All right, we'll start with the Imbolc one here. And I've modified all of these. So yes, I've been excited to do the Sapling Tarot VR because Imogen's questions are pretty fun, and I think also a good reflection on what it means to collect something, which I think we do every so often on TarotTube. I've modified every Seasons of the Witch Oracle that I have, where I used a black Sharpie to black out the phrases and then a silver Sharpie to write keywords. Some of them are in the guidebook and some of them I came up myself. But I tried to give each card 2 or 3 keywords to utilize instead. And after buying the Yule one used and testing it, that mod out on it, it was really fun, and I then hunted all the rest of them down. So yeah, I got started with tarot at the end of 2020. Lol. COVID, when we all had our spiritual awakenings. Just kidding, but actually, I don't really need to get into the whole thing, but was struggling with being separated from my partner because we were doing long distance during lockdown, and I didn't have insurance that covered therapy. So I started struggling. Content warning. I will put a little content warning on the screen and where you can skip ahead to. But I started dealing with panic attacks for the first time, and my anxiety was getting really terrible. So I got into journaling, and then was also reading about various alternative spirituality options to, i.e. not Christianity, because I was raised Catholic. Here is the Seasons of the Witch Ostara Oracle. But I didn't actually start collecting tarot until 2021. So I got the Gentle Tarot, used it in my journaling practice, and my new exploration into sass witchcraft, skeptic, atheist, science-seeking spirituality, along the lines of the Wheel of the Year, but not really a magical practice. Just the introspective, reverence to nature, reverence kind of focus. And Gentle Tarot was my tried and true, and what I used to learn tarot. And then in 2021, I, at the same time, got into TarotTube as I got into tarot collecting, where I was watching different tarot how-to videos and learning about different tarot systems and tarot history, which is, some of you know, is an interest of mine. I really enjoyed watching flip throughs, and I would flip through with the Gentle Tarot along with the video and compare the imagery. So I'd put the deck back in order and then flip through along with whatever deck the person was unboxing or looking at. It was awesome. And actually, my very next deck, I don't have anymore. It was an Oracle deck, because I was looking for an Oracle deck to go with the Gentle Tarot. Hold on, I have my tarot tracker up. It was called the Sacred Journey Oracle. It was really cool, but it was a little bit hard for me to use. So I had it for a while and then gifted it to a friend. So I got a few different Oracle decks to try out along with the Gentle Tarot over the course of 2021 and 2022. I got 2 decks in 2021, and then in 2022, a couple more oracles. And then April 2022 was when I got my second tarot deck. So I started collecting decks in 2021. It really took off in 2022, when then I started with the Yonasa Yaos Tarot and got into other, like comparing tarot systems and differences between decks. And yeah. So the next question is, what kind of deck collection do you have? As some of the examples are minimalist, historical, and I would say that my deck collection is a mix of historical decks, nature-focused decks, and then whatever colorful deck strikes my fancy. But yeah, a lot of them have a nature bend to them. And then I would also say, you know, I'm not limited to any particular system. I have a couple of Marseille. I don't have any Thoth. I have quite a few playing card decks. I have a couple of Lenormand decks. I have a few Oracle decks, but I don't use them nearly as much as I use tarot. This one had a little bit more wear. I bought, like I said, used. You can see a little wear on the corners. I do really like trying out other types of divination systems. So I have divination dice and coins as well. Third question is, are you a completionist? And I would say that yes, I am one of those in danger of going overboard because of my completionist tendencies. So for example, I'm showing you all of the Seasons of the Witch Oracle decks when I really only like 5 of the 8 a lot. Because I like this art style from Tiana Lukovic, and I'm less enthused about the art from Giada Rose. It's fine. It's just not as striking, or it sparks my fancy as much. I really like this picture. These ones really feel like they capture the feeling of the seasons and like almost like stop time and pull you into the story. So, but I have all 8 of them because I want one for each season. And I am one of those who am a lot more likely to get a deck if it's from an artist I already really like. So I have everything that Mari from Mari in the Sky makes, because I just love the Gentle Tarot. So I also have My Friend Fire, but then I have like lots of versions of the same deck. And then with my historical deck collection, I had endeavored to find a deck for each century. And that's part of my completionist mentality. So I try to be careful with that. I try to be very particular because rather than thinking I could always sell the deck or give it away, I try and focus on the, once you buy this thing that has been created in the world, those resources have been used and you have made that impact on the planet. So I try really hard to keep that in mind and not consume more than I actually use. How do I store and organize my collection? I will insert a photo. I have a bookshelf in my, so I have a home office in my basement, which is why I have a space heater going right now, because again, it's chilly in the basement. And right next to my desk is my bookshelf, and 3 of the shelves on the bookshelf are dedicated to my tarot, oracle, playing card, and spiritual divination book collection. So I keep them in their boxes, stand them up, and I kind of organize them by height more than anything else on the shelf. I have the oracle ones on top, and then the tarot on the other 2 bookshelves. So yeah. What is my favorite thing about the collection? I think my favorite thing about the collection is that it has made my tarot interest go beyond how to read tarot, and that's like a thing I do, and into a full-on tarot participant in a tarot community, because I then get to appreciate all these different artists, talk about all of the projects and different perspectives, and yeah, I don't know, I love the I understand tarot with a depth and a nuance that I wouldn't have or appreciate about tarot with just one deck, with just like an RWS, for example. Oops. And I mean, I got by and had a ton of fun, and I could just stick with the Gentle Tarot. It's my favorite still. It's still the one I use the most. If I was, like, I lost all of my decks or something, it would be the only one that I needed to repurchase, because it's just special. But I like having many. I think I have 50 decks in total. Hold on, let me check my spreadsheet. I will tell you. I have 45 tarot decks. I have 26 oracle decks. And that includes decks I have decluttered. I have decluttered 12 from that number. So that's what? 60? 59. Okay. Last Season of the Witch deck. And then we'll pause to put all these away. This one didn't work as well. And with this was the first one I did this on, and I used a paint pen instead. Now, I did get all the Oracle decks, but I didn't get the Winter Tarot because I didn't like a lot of things about it. So, you know, I'm not a completionist to a fault, but it's definitely a struggle of mine. Okay, that's the Seasons of the Witch Oracles. Got those end of 2024, beginning of 2025. 1 second while I put these away and get my next stack. Okay, we're gonna next go through some playing cards that I got as gifts. This would be Solstice 2024. So we're still in 2024. We're almost to 2025. The Seasons of the Witch spanned that whole winter. The next question from Imogen is, what is your least favorite thing about your deck collection, or something you want to change? I think something I need to change is representation in my collection. I do have, you know, some indigenous creators, some black creators, a lot of indie decks, but I don't think I have enough representation. I should do a separate video that shows those. This is my Star Trek playing cards. These are cool because they show the original series characters on one side of the quartz, and then you flip them over. So here's the original. And then they have the movie alternate reality characters from 2009 to 2026. So we have Nichelle Nichols and Zoe Saldana representing Uhura here. We got Kirk, Khan, Scotty, and then there's ships in the pips. Yeah, I need to do a separate video on representation, and it's not representation in the cards that I'm talking about. It's supporting indigenous creators, black creators, BIPOC creators, supporting indie creators. I do my best. I don't have a ton of mass market decks. I do have some by Asian creators. I just think that I should better audit that and be intentional about who I purchase from. The only other thing maybe about my deck collection that I would like to improve, or that's my least favorite, is it could be tidier. Like, oh, and then this is a fun bonus. It's a couple bonus cards. It makes a communicator. There's the backs. Is that all of them? No, this is the actual back, and then this is just the bonus card backs. I have it organized on my shelf by height, but maybe having it a little bit better cataloged. It's not so large, though, that I can't just, like, take it all in it, you know, with a glance. I don't have to hunt and find decks elsewhere, so it's pretty organized, but it could be more organized. Okay, so, and then this one I got as a gift as well. This is the Hanafuda deck. I do have a flip through on my channel of this one. Playing cards with the standard French suits, but also Hanafuda, which means flower cards in Japanese, and that's the images. These are a modern rendition of that. So you can play Hanafuda games and regular playing card. I say regular, but you know what I mean. French suited playing card games. It's very beautiful. And it has the suits here, the seasons, and then also what kind of card it is, so that you can more easily learn the games. I've been working on a system to read it seasonally with the Hanafuda suits. That overlaps with playing cartomancy that I've been learning. Look how beautiful that looks. Okay. What is Imogen's next question? What is the biggest category of my collection? The biggest category is probably historic decks. Tarot is definitely the biggest. Like I said, I have 45 tarot decks. Again, that includes some that have been decluttered. And then, okay, last playing card deck here is the Lady Moon playing cards. These are very fun. They are indie from the Art of Play. Look at that shine. That's fun. I like the gold. The pips are really vibrant, easy to read. I like the pinks and blues. I've read with this, but I also like to play typical card games with it. So yeah, tarot's my largest, but then if you were gonna further subsection it down, it would be historical decks, I would say. Nature-based decks. I have a lot of flower and plant decks. Okay, so those are some playing cards that I got. And then, again, I owe you all so many videos I want to make. The next thing that I got really into in 2025 was Marseille. And again, historic decks. So I have a historic Italian tarot deck here, and then I have 2 Marseille decks. So here's the Visconti di Madrone. I also have a flip through of this on the channel already. This is the very fancy version, museum quality from Los Scarabeo. This is a very delightful deck. I actually decluttered my smaller Visconti Sforza, gave it to an online tarot friend, because I was just so enamored with this bigger version once I was using it that I didn't use the small one anymore. The book is really great because it talks about the various schools of thought, and the restorations that they did, the cards that they created that were missing. It has a ton of cards. It has way more than the typical, because it has all of the, like, it has 2 knights, 2 pages for each suit. It has 89 cards, 25 triumph cards. Basically, it's a really good restored reflection of what kind of variety of tarot you were going to find in the 1400s. 1500s. No, 1400s. Okay. Ignore me. Look at the hanged one. He's got his money. He's falling out. It's so funny. And it actually, like, so it's got matte back and shuffles pretty dang well for a gigantic deck. I know this isn't a shuffling video. Oops, I got half of it. I got half of it. Okay. Next question from Imogen. Well, the smallest category of my collection. Do I have anything smaller than Lenormand? I have 2 Lenormand decks with the intention of getting a third. Mwahaha. But I don't have a third yet. I'm on the hunt for a tarot, or not tarot, a Lenormand playing card mega deck. One that has, like, there's a few out there and I haven't decided which one I want. But one that has all the Lenormand cards, but it then has bonus cards, and then all the playing cards inserts are reflected in it. So you can use it as playing card, cartomancy, or Lenormand plus Oracle. Okay. Can I get it out of frame? Okay. Now let's do these 2 Marseille decks. I've got 2. Both of them I got off eBay. This is the new Choice Marseille, which I bought used. It just funded a 3rd edition on Kickstarter for cheaper than I bought this one, but that's fine. You don't want to buy an out-of-print deck unless you're willing to pay an out-of-print price that you would be okay with if it comes back into print. So I didn't go overboard, and I was really happy with it. And very kindly, when the new Kickstarter funded, I backed just for a couple of prints to support the artist. But I was messaging him, telling him how I had the 1st edition and was asking him about changes in the guidebook. And he sent me, with the prints, a copy of an extra of the new guidebook printings that he had. And it's awesome. It's really nice. It kind of fills in the gaps that were missing on some of the flower meanings. I'm so appreciative that he sent that along with my pledge. But anyway, I didn't pledge for this one. I bought this one used on eBay. I love this colors in this deck. This is the... I don't want to get this wrong. The club scene from Berlin. Inspired based on the clothing styles and stuff. I first saw this deck on Kelly Bear's So You Think Marseille Decks Are Ugly video, because I kind of did, and I kind of still do. Please don't hate me. Please don't hate me, historic deck friends. I love them in historic context, but this one's just much prettier in my opinion. Look at that. I know I'm a monster, but I do have another one I'm about to show that's like classic imagery. Anyway, I got this, and it was for the intention to do Marseille for May with another tarot friend, but it turned into Marseille all day. And this tarot friend and I have been doing little Marseille study group sessions pretty much twice a month, with the exception of 3 months when I had a baby and was on maternity leave. And it's been so delightful. It's really unlocked a lot of tarot skill in general for me. This tarot friend really knows their stuff and has taught me a lot, and also pointed me to a lot of really great resources, and I am very grateful for them and their friendship and their knowledge. And it's been such an enjoyable thing, which is why we kept going after Marseille for May to Marseille all day, and soon it will be a year of Marseille. And this has been one of my mainstays. It's really fun. And I love the flowers element to it. So this is the first edition with the third edition book. Okay, and then my other Marseille deck is this very cute little mini one. This is called the Mama Miyuki Marseille, but it's actually a restoration of the Matinee, which is one that a lot of people like for the friendly, less angry faces. And the artist who redid this one is named Mama Miyuki. They have a little tiny fold out. Anything important for me to share? I don't think so. But it's lovely. You can buy it directly from the artist, but I don't know if they ship to the US. It's a Japanese shop. So I bought mine on eBay. They have a big version and a pocket version. Oh, which reminds me, let's go back to the do you have a holy grail in your collection? That's the next prompt from Imogen. I promise I didn't forget that I was doing that tag. There are a couple of decks that I was like, oh, I missed the boat. And then I found them. The New Choice is one of them, but it came back in print. Yonase Yaos is another one that goes in and out of print. But the it's coming up here. I got the Moon Baby. And I bought that used. And I don't know if that's ever coming back in print. So I was hyped that I found that. And I don't even really like RWS that much, but man, it's like my favorite version of RWS for sure. So I would say as far as a Holy Grail, that's an out of print deck that I got lucky with. And my deck of all decks is the Gentle Tarot, which the first edition is out of print, but you can buy the pocket edition. And shipping now from Kickstarter is the Seed Edition. I elected not to have mine shipped direct from the printer. I am waiting so that it all ships together with the add-ons and the bonus deck. So this is the Mama Miyuki Marseille. This one is still available. It's very cute. And it's my historic Marseille of choice. Okay. So we're firmly in 2025 now with my deck collection. And the next few decks are birthday decks, I think. One sec while I put these away. Okay, let's go with this one. I bought this with birthday money. This is the Moon Baby I bought used. So excited about this one. And excited that it's the second edition because I love the green edges. I wish that Brant Palazzo would print it again, just so other people could have it. This is based on the Hoi Polloi, but updated colors. And for some reason, it just makes RWS images more delightful to me. I do own a couple of my, RWS clones. I have Tarot Vintage and I have the Modern Witch Tarot. And then there's a few heavily influenced clone-ish, but this is the only other one I would say is like a actual clone. I think a theme, when I look back through my collection here, is I like a lot of decks that have a specific color palette. Like, every deck has a color palette, and it doesn't even have to be limited, but like you can see how there's like, okay, greens, pinks, oranges, teal. That's kind of your colors, browns. It's matte. It's got nice matte colored edges too. I'm excited because so I read with the Tarot Vintage in the wintertime and it's about to be spring. So I'm gonna pull this one out. So yeah, got really lucky finding this for a reasonable price on eBay. And then the other two decks here are also birthday gifts. This one is Song of the Grandmothers. This is art by Mari again. And it was one I had initially really, I was like, I don't need that. I'm gonna wait for Mari's Oracle. But I kept seeing it, and in Mari's Discord and Patreon, people are just like, this one's so best. I love it, I love it. So I caved and I got it. Because I bought this one with a gift card for my birthday. A birthday gift card that I then used on a deck. I think, again, I don't use oracles as much, but I think for an oracle, this is a very balanced oracle deck. See, this one is one I wouldn't say has a super specific color palette. This, you're going to find whatever colors you're going to find in it. So I tried not to be a collect them all girly, and then I ended up caving and getting this one. Look how cute. Do you ever wish your collection was bigger, smaller, or is it complete? I definitely sometimes wish it was smaller. Not because I have not enough space or anything. Luckily, I've been, reserved enough that I don't have like a problem storing the decks on my bookshelf. But the like idealized version of me wishes I was a 2 or 3 decks girly living out of my backpack. I used to travel a lot for work. Lived out of a backpack, worked in the backcountry, and I didn't own a ton of possessions. And I do still feel strongly about minimalism. And I try my best to exemplify that in, again, not consuming more than I need. For example, we don't have any clothes, dressers in our home. We have a closet that my partner and I share, and then a closet that my kiddos' stuff is all in, and that's it. We try not to have more clothes than we can wear, and we wear them until they wear out, and then we replace them. That's the kind of thing I try to be with all of my stuff. Like, I try not to consume. I try very hard not to waste food, and I try very hard not to buy plastic toys and junk for my kids, and I try not to buy knickknacks and decorations. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just that that's what I prefer to keep things as minimal as possible. This is the full-size Cosma Visions Oracle. Got this as a birthday gift last year. I had the little pocket one. That's another one that I gifted. Did I gift it or I traded? I think I traded that one. Yeah, because the trade is coming later. I traded that one with an online tarot person because I wanted the bigger one. That's an example of one in, one out, which I'm not great about with decks. Decks are definitely my thing, my weakness. And yeah, I have a few more thoughts about that. As far as I've seen a lot of videos lately of people doing these massive declutters, which do what you want to do, it's fine. But I do worry about the binge and purge cycle. Some folks have been saying like, I don't declutter my decks because they're not clutter. I personally think that anything in your life can become clutter, even things that you love or that matter a lot to you. You can even have, too many nostalgic mementos clutter up your life. Where that's something that's happened in my life where I don't want to get rid of something because I don't want to hurt the person's feelings or because it reminds me of somebody. And so I would say I have never done a declutter. I don't know if I'm skipping ahead on the questions, but I constantly declutter. So I either always declutter or I never declutter. I don't know what you would call it that. But I always have a box going of things that I wear out or I don't use. And I will say, like, looking at my list of decks that I've gotten rid of, almost all of the ones that I ended up decluttering were either gifts, which says a little bit of an uh-oh, like a person just finds out I like tarot and gets me one, and then I immediately turn around and give it away because they don't typically suit me, unless I've specifically asked for a deck. Or they're decks where I had one and I got a different version of that one. So for like Cosmo Visions, I had the pocket and then I got the full size and got rid of the pocket. Same with the Visconti. I got the Sforza and then I gave that one away and got the bigger Madrone version of it. Modern Witch, I did the same. I got rid of the American edition and I got the German edition. So some of the decks on my declutter list, it's because I replaced them with the same deck but a different version. And then a lot of the ones that I got as gifts were very nice gestures, but if it doesn't suit me, I just turn around. I don't hold on to it. I do that the same with gifts for my kids, with clothes, and with books. Especially books, I try and give it away as soon as I've read it so that it's not taking up space on my bookshelf. Sometimes I've regretted that and been like, rats, I kind of want to read that one again. But you know what? That's what libraries are for. I wish there were like tarot libraries. Okay, so that is Cosmovisions, the big one. So those are the birthday gifts. Next up, let's go through some decks I backed on Kickstarter that came in. Okay, most of these came in 2025, but there are a couple that came in 2026. I have a deck flip through of this on the channel. This is the Mamluk playing cards. This falls into my historic collection category here. These are freaking amazing. If you want to learn more about the history of these, go look at that other video. Yeah, okay, so I did kind of leap into Imogen's next question. How often do you declutter your collection? And I would say always and never. I kind of wish that people weren't inspired by declutter videos to do a big purge, because I feel like that feeds into the buy a bunch of new decks, get rid of them all, buy a bunch of new decks, get rid of them all. It's almost like you're allowing, is this in order? Oh, whoops, I put this in order and now I'm getting it out of order. Oh, well. I was using this, but then I put it in order for some reason, so I'm going to put it back in order. I think we should take a little more personal responsibility than that, if I'm being honest. I don't think there's anything wrong with decluttering a deck. I just said I've done it, and I continue to always assess as I look through my decks. But I keep a record of every single deck I've ever bought so that I know those resources that have been out into the world, I brought them here by being a consumer. And just because they leave your home doesn't mean they've left the earth. They've either ended up in a landfill or hopefully they've ended up in someone else's home. But humans are finite and our stuff is not. It's still here. So I just want to remind folks to be mindful of that. Sorry, I really should have these here and then this here so I'm not being obnoxious with the camera on the wrong thing. So yeah, declutter if you need to declutter. Those are the quartz on the cups cards. But if you like something, keep it. Don't declutter it just because someone else did a video where they got rid of a bunch of things and you feel like you should too. I feel like I saw that on a few of those because I watched a few, and I really enjoy watching people go through their collection and think critically. But there are people who are looking through their collection and then saying, oh, I feel like I'm not doing well or getting rid of enough. But I really like this deck, but I don't use it. I guess I should get rid of it. If you like it, just keep it. But if you don't like it, don't buy it or get rid of it. But don't just, there's so much shoulding and shouldn'ting. Okay. Okay, this one next. The Oracle of Many Paths. This is another James R. Eads deck. I got this with a tarot study group. We all backed it. It is really fun because it makes a map, but it's also tarot. My one critique is I wish instead of the numbers for the oracle at the bottom, it had like a little suit symbol or Roman numeral. Whoopsie, got some upside down ones in here. I like to read it as a tarot deck, and I wish that it had the tarot symbols or names on it so that I didn't have to look them up in the book every time. I'm getting better at remembering them, but the quartz are really hard to parse out. It looks really good with Cosmovisions. One of my favorite ways to read it is pick a significator and then shuffle and draw a card. And then from the significator to the card you drew, you have to put the map together that it makes. And that's your reading, the cards that you need to connect them on the map. That's something I've done a couple times and I like. That's labor intensive though, because the map, takes finagling to put together. They don't all just, match. The world building is really fun. I think the monsters in it are kind of weird, but I otherwise really like it. Love the colors. See, the monsters are kind of bizarro. Look at this one. This one is a, this is the King of Pentacles, and it's a casino. I think that's so funny. Oh, and then there's a bonus card, which we've just flipped past. And in the map, it overlays on top of the Fool card. So you can use either or. I keep them both in the deck, but when I make the map, I like to put the Seeker character in on that path. I think that's kind of fun. Sometimes the pips are visible and you can count them, so that's how you can find out what it is. Sometimes they're not as obvious, though. And the courts, they're definitely not. So my deck's kind of sticky. It's not the deck's fault. So my child got grapefruit juice on it. And I thought I cleaned it all off, but I should go through each card with like a little wet microfiber cloth and get it. It's got really nice durable cardstock, water resistant. So like it wasn't damaged by the grapefruit juice, but it feels slightly still tacky to the touch on some of the cards. So don't judge. There. That is Oracle of Many Paths. That one was funded and fulfilled really quick on Kickstarter. Okay. Next up, My Friend Fire. One of my favorites. One of my fast favorites because it came in only recently. Do you ever get envious seeing other people's collections is the next question. I would say back to that ideal self, fantasy self, I get jealous when a person has a really small collection and they're happy with it, or they appear to be, and I'm making that assumption. And I'd be like, oh man, I wish I could be like that. And then I start to shame myself for my collection when I really, there's not like a reason to. It's my thing. I'm pretty diligent otherwise about living within, like, simply, you know, without being over the top, you know, no giant gas guzzling cars or extravagant parties or yachts or, I don't know, what do rich people do? Waste things, right? I try really hard not to waste things. You know, avoid fast fashion. Not that someone who shops at Target or whatever is an evil person. We're all like trying to function in an unjust capitalist system. Fuck ICE, by the way. And, you know, it's challenging just to exist. I definitely can't make perfect choices because there's no such thing. Try not to buy AI decks, please. I do need to do a video on that. Maybe y'all get, like, we all get bamboozled here and there by a counterfeit or an AI deck, but I have a lot of information about the impacts of AI and data centers, not just the moral quandaries of art theft, but these are the bonus cards that are spreads that you can get separately. This is the linen edition, and then here's the matte edition. I'm not going to flip through this whole thing because they're the same cards. But yes, see, this is where I'm a gremlin, and I bought both. Look at how lovely these are. This you can shuffle together with the matte first edition Gentle Tarot, and it's really cool to like mix the cards together. Ugh. This one, the linen one, shuffles better, but oh man, I don't know if I can pick a favorite. That's my friend Fire. And yeah, if I'm envious, it's envy of shame that I've given to myself. Okay, the next two came in this year, 2026. So the Wonderstruck Tarot is a really fun deck. And it's shiny. It's oracle sized. It's got an over-the-top box. And this is another one with flower meetings added to the cards because I'm a lover of those kind of layers. Like, don't give me astrology, but give me flowers. And I have a few like plant and herb decks too, but this has some foil bling added to it, which was funny because it was a stretch goal and they didn't really talk a ton about it. They're like, oh yeah, if we get to the stretch goal, we're going to add a little bit of foil bling, and boom, they really added foil bling, and it's really cool. It adds a lot to the deck. Let's see what the next prompt is. Who on YouTube has the best collection videos? I know a lot of people said that they can't answer that because they don't want to, like, I don't know, offend somebody or pick favorites or whatever. But I'm just going to pick one that I have been currently really enjoying. I don't see the harm in that in this tag. And the answer is going to be Taproot Tarot. I'll link her below. But Ina, the reason that her deck collection videos are so great, and even just her haul videos, is you get to learn a nice chunk of tarot history every time she flips through a deck. She'll be like, here's my little mini collection on this, or I got this deck and here's 4 others that I've brought out that are related, and I will compare and explain the differences and the historical context for those differences. And it's just juicy, fulfilling content that is more dynamic than a simple collection video, even though that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just like, here, look at my pretty shiny things. That's fine too. I'm doing one right now. But I love all the dogs in this deck. There's a lot of dogs. Tarot tends to have a lot of cats, and I have a cat. I like cats, but I have 2 dogs, and I love a dog. I love a dog deck. Yeah, so the guidebook for this one goes through the flowers that are in their clothing or that are hidden in the card somewhere, or not so hidden, like this person in death is just lying in a big field of them. And yeah, that adds sort of like a layer of flower meaning onto it, and it's fun. They are matte on the back and glossy on the front, I think you needed to put a gloss coating on top. What do you call that? A gloss lamination over the foil. But yeah, that is the Wonderstruck Tarot. And it's just a shiny magpie deck. That's why I got it. Because I liked the flower concept and the execution of it. And it's a really fun reader. It's new though, so I haven't read with it a ton. I've only done like maybe 5 readings or so with it. Okay. Last Kickstarter. This is the Swamp Witch Oracle. This is available still on Etsy. The artist is named Tony Keniston, I think. I will link all of these, but I'm sorry, Tony, I'm not remembering your... Tori? Oh my god, I'm such a jerk. Hold on. Okay, I needed to grab the guidebook. I was right the first time. It's Tony Keniston. And I backed this for 2 reasons. First off, it's based on not just Michigan swamps, but Southwest Michigan swamps where I grew up. It's my It's me. It's my environment in a deck. It's what I grew up with. I saw the images and was like, boom, instantly connected. And then, yeah, I just wanted, the second reason was just I really wanted to support the artist because of like her story about swamp restoration. There she is. That QR code takes you to learn more about her Ironwood Swampstead. And if y'all look up Michigan bogs and swamps and look at some of the habitats, you can imagine little me exploring, looking for spring peepers and enjoying it. Now, this one, some folks critique the keywords because they don't go together. Blessings and hardship, fertility, and spirit gifts. Someone might pull this card and be like, what the heck do I do with that? Like that is not something I can work with. I'm trying to find an example of one where they do all kind of line up. Yeah, like the snake one. Those ones you can kind of all connect: transformation, spirituality, and regeneration. But I'll tell you how I like to use this. These are awesome. Okay, by the way, this is also a nice linen cardstock. These are really big cards, but they shuffle great because they're linen. And have a good core snapback. You draw a card. And then you use these 3 keywords to make prompts for yourself for your spread, and then you draw 3 tarot cards. Boom, it's awesome. That's how I've been using it. It's really nice. I have the Great Lakes Tarot, and then I also have a Great Lakes Oracle, and then I also have the Rust Belt Tarot. Those all go really great with this deck because, again, it's all the same environment. Okay, chicory. Chicory is my favorite color. Bar none, hands down. It's like a periwinkle, sky blue cross. And I adore it. It grew everywhere. I would always pick one and put it behind my ear and take it home. When I was a kid and I got to choose the color of carpet when my parents replaced the carpet in my room, I picked chicory. I was like, I will take this with me to the hardware store and tell the carpet person that's the color I want. I can smell the Michigan summers. I can hear the birds. I can hear the peepers and the insects. And this deck is special to me for that reason. I grow a bunch of swamp milkweed here too. Yeah. It didn't come with a box. It came with this little bag, and I'm a little bit sad about that because I have cardboard boxes that I use that like you fold together. I have like a stack of them flat, and then I make boxes, but these are too wide for that. So this one is the only one that doesn't quite sit well on my bookshelf because it is in a little bag. So I need another solution so that it can stand up nice on my bookshelf with my books and my boxes. So those are all the Kickstarters that I definitely backed prior to 2025. Some of them, most of them I backed in 2025 and got either 2025 or 2026. Okay, so what do we have left here? We have a few decks. I guess I could just do them all. They are a mixture of decks that I bought at the end of 2025 or traded for, or that I bought in 2026. Oh, and one that I got as a present for Christmas for the 2025. So yeah, I guess we'll just answer the last question from Imogen and wrap up the last few decks here. What is some advice you'd give to a new future deck collector? And you know what? Let's use this opportunity to answer this question the way I keep meaning to for Sylvan's Way, who requested smart deck shopping. Okay, let's start with the story in color Lenormand. See, this is one of my I have little boxes, and then I have tarot-sized boxes that are jewelry boxes you buy flat and then fold to yourself. Look at this cute little one. This is by our own Kelly Fitzgerald. Story in color. You can get it on Make Playing Cards. It's super tiny. I got it so that I could do a tableau really easily on a small space, and it's great for that. But I also got it because it's freaking beautiful. She did watercolor with these, and it's sort of like abstract. I'll do it like this so you can see better. So, smart deck shopping. Number 1, seek out used decks, but be very careful of counterfeits. So, places I shop for used decks. I use Poshmark. I use Mercari. I use eBay. I use thrift books. I use Abe, like ABE, books. I trade amongst tarot friends or on tarot group like Discord chats that have a channel for trading or selling. Have I done any other? Is there any other way that I bought a used deck? I mean, even like Amazon and stuff. I don't shop on Amazon, but they have a used section. To avoid a counterfeit, it's the typical. A lot of decks have hard 2-piece boxes, and if they're in a tuck box, you should be suspicious. They also might say it's a pocket edition or something, and that's not true. So if you're buying a used deck and you see one that's like a tuck box with a QR code, it's probably fake. If it's in a tuck box and you think it's legit, look up a flip through and see how the deck properly comes. Ask the person to send you pictures of the deck. Ask them if it comes with a guidebook. And then please, 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 please stop backing Kickstarter AI decks. I will put a screenshot. There's a tab where the creators are supposed to disclose if AI has been used. Some of them don't, and they lie, and you could tell just because it looks like AI. But you can back a deck if you think it's not AI and ask them to make sure. Okay, let's next look at the Tarot of Geoffroy and Solace. This is another historic deck, but a restoration. Again, if you want to learn more about it, I have a full tarot history, tarot by the century video on the channel you can watch. I got this on Game Crafter. I have not read with this deck. This, I think, is the only deck in my collection to date that I haven't read with. So now let's talk about Kickstarter smarts. I have made mistakes here. I actually recently had this whole thing where I was looking for a historic Loteria deck. I found one on Kickstarter I thought was really cool, but I was asking them questions about how they dealt with the racist cards, and they kind of answered me in a like stay tuned kind of way that I should have been a red flag for me, but was not. And then when they published their stretch goals, they added racist cards that they didn't like disclose on the main page, and I was really mad about it, and I contacted them and was like, your solution to just cut the head off the character is terrible. And they were like, okay, well, we'll change it. And their change just felt like they didn't get it, and it wasn't properly addressing it. They didn't include anything in the book about the problematic history of some of the cards, and they just like put in stereotype divination meanings for them instead. And then I think the book was being written by AI. So I was really mad about the whole thing. I didn't like blast them online or freak out on the Kickstarter page. I just emailed them with my concerns, and eventually I asked for their refund, which they didn't have to give me because Kickstarter is not a store, and when you back a project, you are donating to the project. But they did refund me. So part of why I haven't gone on and on and on about that deck is because they refunded me. So I learned that lesson the hard way, to be a little bit more careful about backing decks on Kickstarter. So yeah, do your best to avoid AI, first off. Second, look into the artists separately from the Kickstarter and see if you can find information on them. Watch out for random racist nonsense. Try and use your Kickstarter to support Black, Indigenous, and other people of color and their creative projects. And if you're like, this is a cool project, I don't really want the deck, or I don't really like the art or whatever, and like I'm trying to think of an example, but there's like 3 or 4 decks that were by Indigenous and Black creators on Kickstarter that I didn't actually want, but I backed the pledge, just a monetary pledge to support the project. That's what Kickstarter is supposed to be for anyway. So approach Kickstarter with that mindset. That will help you, rather than trolling it constantly to try and find a deck to collect. And don't let the FOMO get to you, because for the most part, they're available after. Not always, but yeah, that's my Kickstarter mistake story. Other shop smart advice. I mean, shop smart by slowing your roll. You know, like I said earlier, don't buy everything you see. Put it on a wish list and think about it. Your interest might ebb and flow. This is the Loteria deck that I ended up getting and really liking. This one's actually mass market. And it's cool because it comes with the whole game. See, here's the game sheets. And then here's the deck and the guidebook and then the tokens. The one thing about this deck that I wish was different is I really love the art style and wish some of the actual classic cards were included, because it's modern, and I like the modern ones for the most part. I like a ton of them, but I wish that it had like the rooster and the watermelon and the fan, you know, that kind of stuff. But like, look, it has an oracle card, which I think is fun. Solar eclipse, black salt, pendulum, right? So it's fun. That's why it's mystical loteria. And the guidebook has not quite suits, but it goes through those. I haven't really figured out exactly how I want to use it, but I have done some readings with it. And it's really pretty. I really like the art style. I would totally get another deck by this creator. If they did like a tarot deck or another loteria or an oracle. I love the art. Yeah. So yeah, don't go too fast. Be as intentional as possible and try and really, you know, give the purchase the weight it deserves. Like, put some heft behind it when you're making these decisions about what decks to get. Try and support indie. If you can afford it, get one indie rather than several mass market. Try and avoid the binge and purge. So yeah, intentional shopping, intentional consumption is the advice I would give a new tarot collector. All right, this is one I traded for. This one I traded the Pocket Cosmovisions for. This is one I had my eye on, and to be honest, I really liked the small playing card version, but those were boring colors. They were just gold and blue. The beautiful colors are this big one, but the big one's kind of obnoxious. This is only half of it because I'm using it in my tarot envelopes this year for 3-card playing card readings, so it's missing a lot of the cards because they're all in my envelopes for my Wheel of the Year Sabbath readings. But it's really cool because what it is it's a playing card deck with tarot incorporated into them. And then the Joker card is the Fool. It's beautiful. You can really get a lot out of the cards. So you can read it intuitively, you can read it scenically, or you can read it playing card pip style, or a combination of all of those. So for example, the 6 of clubs is also got the Tower incorporated into it. 7 of spades also has the Chariot incorporated into it. The cardstock's really annoying. The cardstock on the little ones are supposed to be really nice, but this is like thick, warped, and it has a linen texture, but it's like a weird texture. But it's usable, and if they made this in a smaller form factor, like playing card, but with these colors, I would totally buy it in a heartbeat. This is a mass market deck, but again, I traded for this, and I really like it. I'm using it to better improve my playing card reading, and I'm using it in my, they're not quite monthly, but my every 6 weeks readings. Okay, 2 more, and then we are done. And I really thank Imogen for these lovely prompts. And yeah, I don't have any to add myself. Okay, the next deck is a deck I got as a Christmas gift. The Arcana Tarot Playing Cards. So this is a tarot deck, but it's also a playing card deck. Kind of like the one we just looked at. So it has majors. And then it has pips. And it has courts. My one critique of this deck is that, well, I guess two. It's all white people. That's one critique. And then my other critique is the pages are pages, but the knights are jacks. And the way I read playing cards, jacks are pages and cavaliers are knights. So I don't like that. I wish it said Jack, Cavalier, Queen, King, or Page, Knight, Queen, King. I wish it did not have Page and Jack, because that to me feels like a duplication. But in this deck, the pages are pages, the jacks are knights. I personally want my jacks to be pages and my knights to be cavaliers or knights. It's lovely, though. It looks like classic engraving style. And the aged effect on the pips is not the same on every card, so that's nice. Look how spooky the little marionette jokers are. And the tarot symbol. So you see there's the playing card symbol and then the tarot symbol. Club, wand. So that's kind of fun. Spade, sword. Cup, heart. So I love it. I love that it has the majors and also jokers. It's a nice thick little guy. The thickness makes it for a little bit of a more challenging shuffle, but it's linen cardstock, so it shuffles really nice. It's got that nice black core, swishy, whistly, casino style deck, just thicker. The box is kind of weird though, because it's on this side. I don't feel like this enhances the tuck box in any way. I like tuck boxes just fine. I don't complain about them, but this one's kind of goofy. Okay, last, but certainly not least, my most recent deck, a deck of 2026. This one I bought. This is the only deck I bought this year so far. Yes. This is the Onyx Tarot. This is a deck I've had my eye on for ages. And to be honest, the reason I hadn't gotten it so far was a petty little reason. There's a typo on one of the cards. And I didn't want it and was hoping they would make a new printing without the typo. But they hadn't. I didn't want to miss out on it. It's on Etsy. And I wanted to support the artist. And it's a really heckin' cool deck. And after I got it, I was like, dang, I actually have two decks with amazing green edges. The Moon Baby and this one. How neat is that? It also has a pretty nice guidebook. I like it. So I think this is my first ever collage deck. Sugar Taylor's the artist. And it is photographs of people, but with graphic art drawn on top of their images. So it's not quite collage, but it kind of is. I don't really like collage, but I really like this. I love their hairstyles. It feels very like Afrofuturism. It feels very like N.K. Jemisin, How Long Till Black Future Month, kind of. I don't know if anyone's read that series of short stories, or that's a really awesome sci-fi author. But their clothes and their hair make me think of like a futuristic world. It's an RWS clone, pretty much. That one's not quite, but like, it's very, very lovely. It's a matte. It's a little bit sturdy, but it's got a good snapback. It's not overdone cardstock. The card with the typo is the Hierophant. I don't think we've already gone past it. Let me find it. It's also not like my favorite depiction of it because it is a clone. So it's that Pope looking depiction, which again, I don't have a problem with because otherwise I would not have purchased the deck. I should have just kept going instead of being silly about this. Ooh, there's a 7 of Wands. How good is that one? It looks kind of 8 of Wands-ish, doesn't it? But they're defending against the 8 of Wands coming at them. And this 3 is really cool with the person painting. Fool, I love the Fool. Oh, this Queen of Swords is beautiful. But no, I'm getting distracted. Where's the Hierophant? I think the 4 of Cups is one of my favorite 4 of Cups ever. It's because of the person's expression. He's like, humph. I love this 4 of Cups. It's great. 8 of Swords. That's a cool 8 of Swords. Oh, and these ones have princesses instead of pages, but I really like them. They look like kids. They look younger, the pages do. Here's the Hierophant. Okay, so you see, it's a really easy typo to make. But I decided, okay. Here's my rationale. Listen, hear me out. Here's like a little epiphany / just rationalization I did that I was like, oh, you know what? I actually really like that. Instead of the Hierophant, it's like spelled like Aerophant. Instead of ancestral wisdom, it's the wisdom of future generations. It's the generations that I need to learn from. And it goes well with the futuristic clothes and hair and vibe of the deck. So after I got that little ping in my head, like, oh my gosh, oh, this Hermit is so cool. After I saw that, I was like, you know what? I gotta get it. So, typo or no typo, I bought the deck, bought it on Etsy, and I've been really loving it. And just, it's so pretty. I think I saw this one initially on Robin's Reflections channel, and then I saw it again on Satu's channel. She's changed her name a couple times. I think it's just channel's just called Satu now. But she was 9 coins from Satu and Satu Bloom. I love her deck collection series too, because she's got some really great, very intentionally curated black artists decks in some really good collection videos. And this one's in there, and I was like, oh my god, I have to get this one. I saw it, bookmarked it, peeked on it a few times, even messaged them to see if they were going to print another version without the typo. They didn't respond. And then I was like, I'm just going to get it. And I love it. So, okay, before we go, first off, thank you, Imogen. I do have one more collection update, which is I have acquired a few additional divination coins. You can go back and watch my Dyson Divination Coin collection video if you want to see all the other ones. This one came with the Oracle of Many Paths. It's a yes/no coin. Whoops. It's like the ship and the mountain, or the no and the yes, or the stay and the go. It's really fun. This one was a gift. Oh, dropping things. I got this as a gift for my birthday last summer. And it is a realistic design of the moon on a silver coin. It's a thin, really lovely coin. This is actually made by the same folks who have metal version of tarot coming out, or on Kickstarter, or recently funded. I'll put the link and the name on the screen. I wasn't going to get those, but I really do like this coin. It's high quality. They did a really good job with it. And so you can get the light side or the dark side of the moon. And then lastly, this is a recent special little thing. This is called a drop. This is from Mari in the Sky. And Marisa is hoping to do every major arcana and ideally every card in the Gentle Tarot. And this is the Fool. This is the little salmon from the Fool. Mari has put a hole in it so you can wear it as a pendant, or you can use it as a divination coin. So I jumped on it and I've really been enjoying having it. I'll put it in my pocket. She has like this side is like a worry side with a raised piece to fidget with. The other side is enamel. It's beautifully colored. And yeah, this goes back to my am I a collect them all completionist? And yes, I am, as you can see. So thank you so much for sticking through this collection update as well as VR2 on tarot collections video, on tarot collecting, and a surprise bonus Shop Smart rant summary for Sylvan's Way, who very kindly requested that I make comments on that ages ago. I'm sorry, Sylvan's Way, for taking so long. Hopefully that was helpful. Yeah. Please let it be spring soon. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.